The West Indies were a crucible of ambition, with European powers vying for control over trade and naval supremacy. Spain, France, Britain, and the Dutch Republic commanded vast swathes of territory across the Americas. As the golden age of piracy reached its peak, notorious figures such as Edward Teach, Anne Bonny, and Calico Jack wrought havoc on the seas. However, by the 1720s, piracy had been all but stamped out by the European navies. The Caribbean transformed as a result of a surge in the exploitation of natural resources, and an insatiable demand for labor gripped the colonies. The indigenous populations experienced severe subjugation, while millions of African men, women, and children were forcibly deported across the Atlantic, forever altering the course of history. On the backs of enslaved people, colonial powers amassed immense wealth through the production of sugar, indigo, and tobacco. The once lush, forested lands of the Antilles were transformed into vast plantations. This transformation was further exacerbated by the great wars of the century, irrevocably altering the political landscape of the Caribbean. In the 1750s, Europe and its American colonies became embroiled in the 7 Years' War, led by Great Britain and France, respectively. By 1763, the British Navy proved its dominance at sea, prevailing over both the French Marine Royale and the Spanish Armada. As the ink dried on the Treaty of Paris, the borders of the Americas were redrawn. France, humiliated, relinquished much of its North American territories in exchange for regaining possession of Guadeloupe and Martinique. Spain was forced to cede Florida to Great Britain in return for control of Havana. King Louis XV, stung by defeat, ordered the rebuilding of the Marine Royale to challenge the bolstered naval dominance of the Royal Navy. In Britain's American colonies, the war sparked a brief period of heightened colonial loyalty and jubilation. However, a series of parliamentary reforms intended to more tightly integrate the colonies into the British Empire only served to enrage the colonists. As a result, illegal trade with Spanish and French colonies was met with even more severe punishment. Many American sailors were press-ganged into service aboard British warships, enduring brutal conditions in service to the King. The destruction of tea shipments in Boston sparked outrage in London, leading to a series of punitive acts to chastise its colony of Massachusetts. For the first time, the 13 colonies formed a unified identity in opposition to the Empire. American militiamen began to hoard small arms and ammunition, prompting the Crown to dispatch troops to quell the unrest. In April 1775, events turned irrevocably violent at Lexington and Concord. The American War for Independence had begun. On July 4, 1776, independence was declared by the 13 American colonies. France and Spain found a possible ally in the young United States. The colonies received limited and secret support from these European powers. The French Navy was eager to seek retribution for its failures a decade earlier. On June 17, 1778, French warship Belle-Poule opened fire on the British frigate Arethusa. A clear signal was sent, and the British responded with a declaration of war. A year later, Spain joined the war alongside the United States, seeking to reconquer Florida from the British. Enraged by what was seen as opportunistic actions by Dutch merchants under the pretense of neutrality, war was also declared by the British government on the Dutch Republic. 1780. Formidable navies converge in the heart of the Caribbean, creating a perilous game of cat and mouse. The West Indies are a major flashpoint, lying at the crossroads of empires and poised to shape the future of the Americas. The fate of nations hangs in the balance. The ultimate key to victory lies in naval supremacy.